What if I told you one of WWE's most dominant forces almost never stepped into a wrestling ring? What if the woman who now shakes arenas once had no wrestling background at all? And what if her journey from Australia to global fame was filled with controversy, criticism, setbacks, and one of the boldest comebacks in modern WWE history? Today we reveal the full story of Nia Jax. From Australian roots to WWE powerhouse to shocking release to dramatic return, this is her real story. Nia Jax was born in Sydney, Australia in 1984. Her real name, Savalina Fanin. But her journey wasn't typical. She later moved to the United States and grew up in California, raised in a large, tight-knit Samoan family known for producing some of wrestling's biggest legends. Yes, she is part of the WWE wrestling dynasty, the same legendary bloodline that includes Dwayne Johnson. That connection would later spark curiosity. But make no mistake, Nia Jax didn't walk into WWE because of family. She walked in because of presence. And presence she had plenty of. Before wrestling, Nia played college basketball. She had size, athleticism, confidence. But professional wrestling, that wasn't the original plan. Everything changed when WWE talent scouts noticed her unique look and natural charisma. In 2014, she signed with WWE, and that decision would alter her life forever. When Nia Jax debuted in WWE's developmental system next, fans immediately noticed something different. She wasn't built like the typical female superstar. She wasn't marketed as delicate. She wasn't presented as flashy. She was marketed as dominant, the irresistible force. And when she made her main roster debut in 2016, the division felt her impact. Nia Jax quickly positioned herself as one of the most physically imposing women in WWE history. Her strength wasn't just storyline, it was real. Power bombs, Samoan drops, corner avalanches. She didn't just compete, she overwhelmed. But dominance comes with pressure, because when you stand out physically, you become a target for criticism. And Nia Jax's WWE journey would not be smooth. In 2018, Nia Jax captured the Raw Women's Championship in an emotional moment that resonated globally. Why? Because it wasn't just a title win, it was representation. She proudly embraced body positivity. She broke stereotypes in an industry long criticized for narrow beauty standards, and fans who had never felt represented in wrestling finally saw someone who looked powerful in a different way. That moment cemented her legacy. But it also intensified scrutiny. Wrestling is a brutal business, and Nia Jax faced heavy criticism for in-ring accidents. Some fans labeled her unsafe. Social media amplified every mistake, every botch, every misstep. The internet can be unforgiving, and in 2021, WWE released her. After years of building her name, after championship glory, after headlines, just like that, she was gone. But here's the part most people don't talk about. Releases in WWE aren't just professional setbacks, they're emotional shocks. Suddenly, the spotlight fades, the routine disappears, the identity shifts, and for Nia Jax, it became a period of reflection, growth, and quiet rebuilding. Now let's talk numbers. As of 2026, Nia Jax's estimated net worth sits between $1–2 million. Her earnings come from WWE contracts, merchandise sales, appearances and signings, brand collaborations, media opportunities. While not the highest earner in WWE history, she built financial stability through smart management and brand awareness. Her lifestyle reflects comfort, not excess. Luxury travel, close family bonds, private living. She's known to prioritize wellness and personal growth over flashy displays. But here's where the story gets interesting. After her release, many assumed her WWE chapter was closed, but wrestling is unpredictable. And in 2023, she made a shocking return, stronger, sharper, and more confident. The comeback wasn't just about wrestling, it was about redemption, proving critics wrong, reclaiming narrative control, and reminding the world that resilience matters more than perfection. When a superstar gets released from WWE, most people assume the story is over. But for Nia Jax, the story was just entering its most dangerous chapter. Because comebacks, they're harder than debuts. When Nia Jax made her surprise return to WWE, the reaction was explosive. Some fans cheered, some were shocked, some questioned the decision. But one thing was undeniable. She had presence. The kind that changes the energy of a segment the moment she walks through the curtain. And this time, she didn't return as the same performer. She returned more focused, more strategic, more aware of the narrative around her. A release can break confidence, but it can also rebuild it stronger. During her time away, Nia reportedly focused on conditioning, in-ring improvement, mental health, brand rebuilding, business awareness. She knew the criticism, she heard the noise, and instead of responding emotionally, she responded with preparation. Modern WWE isn't just about live crowds, it's about Twitter trends, YouTube breakdowns, podcast debates, TikTok reactions. Every move is analyzed, every mistake becomes a viral clip, and Nia Jax became one of the most discussed female wrestlers online. But here's something most viewers forget. Professional wrestling is physically brutal. Mistakes happen. Timing isn't always perfect. And when you're one of the strongest competitors in the division, your margin for error looks bigger. That scrutiny shaped her second run. She began wrestling smarter, slower when needed, more calculated, more controlled. And that evolution matters. WWE repositioned her not just as dominant, but as inevitable. She leaned into confidence, into presence, into unapologetic power. And something shifted. Fans began noticing growth, improvement, composure. Sometimes the villain role fits better than the hero narrative. And Nia Jax embraced that reality. But behind the scenes, reputation matters. In WWE locker rooms, respect isn't given, it's earned. Veterans observe, younger talent watches, work ethic becomes currency. And insiders have noted that Nia's second run feels more disciplined, more mature, because experience teaches what criticism cannot. Let's talk strategy. Professional wrestling careers are unpredictable. Contracts expire, storylines shift, injuries happen. So what separates short-term fame from long-term success? Business awareness. Nia Jax understands branding now more than ever. Her name recognition is powerful. Her Samoan heritage connects her to one of wrestling's most respected families, including Dwayne Johnson, whose global influence extends beyond wrestling. But here's the important detail. She isn't riding coattails. She's building independent credibility, appearances, public events, media engagement, carefully controlled image. Because today's wrestling star is also a digital brand. With her WWE return, contract earnings increased again, combined with merchandise royalties, premium live event bonuses, international tours, special appearances. Her financial stability strengthened. While she isn't among WWE's highest earners, her estimated net worth between $1 to $2 million reflects sustainable growth. More importantly, she's learned that career longevity depends on planning beyond the ring. Wrestling rumors move fast. Will Nia Jax capture another championship? Is WWE positioning her as a long-term powerhouse? Could she transition into mentorship? Or perhaps even a crossover media presence? The women's division is evolving rapidly. Athleticism is at an all-time high. Storytelling is sharper. Competition is fierce. And that environment will determine her next chapter. But here's the truth. Her story isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. Not about flawless execution, but about returning when critics expected retreat. And that kind of resilience, it earns respect. When the lights go off, when the crowd disappears, when the entrance music fades, who is Nia Jax? Not the powerhouse, not the villain, not the irresistible force, but the real woman behind the character. Born in Sydney, Australia and raised in the United States, Nia Jax carries a powerful cultural identity. She is of Samoan and German descent, part of a lineage deeply respected in professional wrestling. Her family ties connect her to the legendary Samoan dynasty, a dynasty that includes global superstar Dwayne Johnson. But here's what makes her story different. She didn't grow up inside a wrestling ring. She didn't train from childhood. She didn't chase the spotlight early. Her entry into WWE was unexpected, which makes her rise even more unique. Family legacy can open doors, but it can also create pressure, expectations, comparisons, questions. Can she live up to the name? Can she stand on her own? And for years, Nia has had to answer those questions through performance. Unlike some celebrities who display extravagant lifestyles on social media, Nia Jax lives relatively private. Her lifestyle reflects family-oriented values, travel tied to WWE tours, wellness and fitness focus, low-profile personal time. She enjoys comfort, not excessive luxury. High-end travel during WWE international events, time with family members, moments of relaxation away from the spotlight. There are no constant mansion showcases, no over-the-top luxury car collections dominating headlines. Instead, her life balances discipline and privacy. Because when your job is physical combat entertainment, recovery matters, mental peace matters, and personal space becomes sacred. Criticism can hurt, especially when amplified by millions online. During her most controversial WWE moments, social media became harsh, relentless, personal. But here's what often gets overlooked. Athletes are human. Mistakes aren't malicious. Pressure affects performance, and public judgment can weigh heavily. Stepping away from WWE gave her something rare: silence, time to reset, time to breathe, time to reevaluate who she wanted to be, not just as a wrestler, but as a person. That pause changed her, and fans noticed it when she returned. More composed, less reactive, more confident in her identity. One of Nia Jax's most impactful contributions to WWE wasn't just championships, it was representation. She openly embraced body positivity in an industry historically focused on narrow standards. She reminded viewers that strength doesn't have one look. Power doesn't come in one size. Confidence isn't reserved for a single body type. And for many fans watching around the world, that mattered deeply. Sometimes legacy isn't about titles, it's about changing perception. And in that category, she's already left a mark. While her estimated net worth ranges between $1–2 million, what's more important is sustainability. WWE contracts provide guaranteed base salary, performance bonuses, merchandise royalties, international tour pay. But professional wrestling careers can be short, which is why diversification matters. Nia has explored media appearances and brand collaborations carefully. No reckless spending headlines, no financial controversy, just steady growth. Because longevity in wrestling isn't just about physical endurance, it's about financial intelligence. So what's next? Will she capture another championship, transition into a mentorship role, become a dominant faction leader, or perhaps surprise fans with another evolution of her character? The women's division in WWE is more competitive than ever. Athletic, technical, dynamic. And for Nia Jax to thrive long-term, evolution will remain key. In WWE, moments create legends. Not tweets, not rumors, not opinions, moments. And for Nia Jax, her career has been built on moments that shook arenas. Her Raw Women's Championship victory in 2018 wasn't just another title change. It was symbolic. It represented dominance, representation, validation. On that night, she didn't just win gold, she silenced doubters. For years, critics questioned whether she fit the WWE mold. That night answered everything. And the image of her holding the championship above her head became one of the most powerful visuals of that era. But championships are only one part of legacy. Rivalries define impact. Every major WWE superstar is defined by conflict. For Nia Jax, her rivalries created tension, headlines, and unforgettable segments. She clashed with technical wrestlers, high flyers, fan favorites, villains. Her size and strength forced opponents to adapt their style. That alone made her presence unique in the women's division. When she stepped into the ring, the pacing changed. The psychology shifted. The stakes felt heavier. Because she wasn't just another competitor, she was a physical force. And let's not forget her time as part of dominant tag team runs. Holding the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships elevated her versatility. She proved she wasn't limited to solo dominance. She could work within partnerships, adapt to chemistry, and still stand out. While not the most decorated female wrestler in WWE history, her accomplishments remain significant. Former Raw Women's Champion, former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, multiple high-profile pay-per-view matches, consistent main roster presence, in a rapidly evolving division filled with athletic innovators. Staying relevant is an achievement in itself. And relevance? She's maintained it. Every wrestling career has shadows, moments of criticism, controversial in-ring incidents, viral debates. But here's the uncomfortable truth. In professional wrestling, physicality is unpredictable. And when you are presented as one of the strongest competitors in WWE, perception magnifies every action. What critics call mistakes, supporters call intensity. What some call reckless, others call fearless. And somewhere in the middle lies reality. But here's what cannot be denied. She never backed down from the spotlight. She never hid from criticism. She returned after release. That resilience alone reshaped her narrative. The WWE Women's Division has transformed dramatically over the past decade, from short matches to main event pay-per-views, from side attraction to headline act. And during that evolution, Nia Jax represented something different. She brought power-based storytelling, contrast in body types, a villain presence rooted in intimidation. Her role added dimension to the division's diversity. Without variety, divisions become predictable, and unpredictability fuels entertainment. Years from now, how will fans remember Nia Jax? As controversial, as dominant, as misunderstood, or as a trailblazer who challenged norms? Legacy isn't decided in one match, it's built through chapters. and her second chapter is still being written. If she captures another championship, if she mentors emerging talent, if she continues refining her in-ring work, the narrative could shift dramatically. Redemption stories are powerful in wrestling, and audiences love transformation arcs, because sometimes the comeback becomes bigger than the rise. Every superstar reaches a defining moment, a crossroads, a chapter where the question isn't, can she dominate, but how will history remember her? For Nia Jax, 2026 isn't about proving she belongs, it's about deciding how her story ends. What does 2026 look like? The women's division in WWE is faster, more athletic, more competitive than ever before. New stars are emerging, veterans are evolving, storylines are layered. So where does Nia Jax fit? Here are the possibilities: a dominant championship run to solidify her redemption arc, a leadership role mentoring younger talent, a powerful faction storyline, or a slow transition toward part-time appearances. Each path changes her legacy. Each move reshapes perception. But one thing is certain: she understands the business now better than ever. The first chapter was about impact. The second chapter is about control. Professional wrestling careers rarely last forever. The physical toll is real, travel is relentless, injuries are unpredictable, and that's why smart performers build beyond the ring. Nia Jax has quietly positioned herself as more than just an in-ring presence. She has brand recognition, a powerful last name in wrestling, media visibility, international fan appeal. Being connected to the legendary Samoan wrestling dynasty, which includes global icon Dwayne Johnson, offers visibility. But carving your own lane, that takes strategy. And she's doing exactly that. There are whispers of potential media appearances, podcast guest features, brand collaborations, motivational speaking around confidence and body positivity, because representation matters, and her voice carries weight. Let's talk about something more important than titles: mental resilience. Being criticized publicly, being released unexpectedly, returning under a cloud of doubt. That kind of journey builds psychological strength most people never see, and that might be her greatest victory. Not the championship, not the spotlight, but the ability to return when the narrative wasn't in her favor. In professional wrestling, many disappear after setbacks. Few return stronger. That alone makes her second chapter compelling. Redemption arcs are powerful in entertainment. Fans love transformation, they love growth, they love watching someone rewrite their own story. And Nia Jax has that opportunity if she continues refining her in-ring performance. If she embraces character evolution, if she balances dominance with control, her narrative could shift from controversial to respected veteran powerhouse. Because history often softens criticism, and time reframes perception. So how will she be remembered? As one of the most physically imposing women in WWE history? Yes. As a controversial figure who sparked debate? Absolutely. But perhaps also as a performer who challenged traditional expectations, who represented strength differently, who refused to disappear. From Sydney, Australia, to WWE arenas across the world, from championship gold to release and return, Nia Jax's journey isn't perfect, but it's real. And sometimes, real stories leave the deepest impact. What do you think? Is Nia Jax entering her strongest era yet? Or is her WWE chapter nearing its final act? Drop your thoughts below. And if you love deep dives into celebrity lifestyles, net worth, struggles, and untold stories, make sure you subscribe to Life of Legends. Because here, we don't just talk about fame, we reveal the full story.